Good morning, traders. Welcome to the live trading room. I hope you all had a wonderful day. We had our first day of the course yesterday, very interesting. So as you've seen, well, you are all here because you've noticed that the webinar link is only on the website and the old one is no longer working. Right, so we've got that link on the website. So let's start with the DXY before we go through any other pairs. Let's have a look at the structure here. I want to look at the daily first to see if this trend is going to show any sort of reversal. So the DXY, the structure that we are looking at here, is for it to do this three-wave pullback here and then continuation to the downside. So we've got a bit of a pullback here yesterday back to the 50% of this. Is this going to be the move? Are we going to get this one coming down here like this? So we're currently here. Let's have a look at the structure here. So we are looking at this 1, 2, 3 down here, one single impulse. This has a potential to come down here correctively, come down up here, or come up here and come back down here, and eventually making a bigger structure here for continuation to the downside. So let's see how that's going to go. Is this going to continue to the upside? If it continues to the upside, there's a possibility of another structure like this as well. But essentially, the long term is downside, whichever structure plays out here. So if there's going to be a trade set up here for upside, it's going to be kept around this level. It's not going to be a safe trade to look at. The Euro US dollar will be the inverse of what is happening on the DXY. Let's have a look here. Also pulled back to about the 50% of this initial move. Can we see the Euro start the move to the upside there? Let's have a look on the lower time frame, on the 4-hour. This move was very impulsive, and this is not only just the 50%, has gone below the 50%, so that changes that whole structure. Let's have a look here. We're looking for this one to break higher after giving us a corrective structure here at the top. We did not get that. Where are we now? Currently, we are at the 61%. Exactly at the 61%. Can this start pushing up higher? If it does, then that means that this was the expanding flat. Okay, so this was the expanding flat. Let's have a look at the rules for that expanding flat specifically. That expanding flat should not be more than 1,618. Let's get the Fibonacci extension tool. We'll check it here from the start here to around this level and back. That's already below the 1,618. Okay, so the 1,618 is around here. The 0,618 retracement is around here. There is not much of a confluence, but it is around this area. Can we start seeing a reversal here? Right, let's have a look at the indicator. What is the indicator showing us? We are well below 50, but at the extremes here, right at the bottom here, right at the bottom here, can this start making a push to the upside? At this stage, we cannot confirm. What we need here is to see a bit of an impulse and a correction if it's going to confirm upside. And if it's going to continue lower, we need to see a bit of this. Okay, so the bigger structure on Euro US dollar, similar to the DXY. Let's switch this off here. So there's a bigger structure here, which if this continues, it's a very likely move. You can see 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3 down, and the pulsing move to the upside. There's a possibility for this structure, which makes a three-wave structure in the higher degree like this. But that's going to be invalidating that whole count that we have from the bottom of this swing. Remember, we've got this count here on the daily, on this swing that has been in play since 2020. We have here 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Is this the end of that move? Are we going to get a deeper one before continuation to the upside? But our target here is for these to give us this structure. So we still expect the euro, even if it's going to make this pullback, we still expect it to continue pushing up higher to around these levels. Could it go up with a diagonal? If this was 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we start seeing a diagonal here, it's possible as well to have a diagonal here around this level in the bigger structure. So we just need to see how this plays out where we are currently. Right, so that is Euro US dollar, Pound US dollar. Pound US dollar still pushing up higher. As we've shown on the daily, we are still looking for this to go around 145. Continuation to the upside, continue to push to around this level. So any continuation pattern on Pound US dollar should continue to the upside. So every time pound give a structure like this, it's a continuation to the upside. If we get an entry, the target is around 145. Okay, that is on the 4-hour on pound US dollar. US dollar chief, just like the DXY, exactly the same structure. This looks pretty impulsive for it to come down. So let's have a look here. Could this have been a short squeeze? Are we going to see this one continue to the downside? Let's have a look here on the structures. So we were anticipating this move, but not as sharp as it has played out. So we were looking at this as 1, 2, 3. We saw this one coming down here in 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we expected that we could have a pullback, even if this pullback was something like this. But this has just made a sharp move to the upside. So that changes the structure that we're expecting. So let's watch and see how this goes. We're going to update this as we get more data on that. US dollar CAD. Okay, so US dollar CAD, we failed to break lower than this structure. Let's just show the daily here. So US dollar CAD, we're looking for this to be a continuation pattern for downside. Is the structure going to change? Remember, we are still bearish on the US dollar CAD, right? If we're gonna see upside here on the US dollar CAD, that will be just a bigger correction. So I still expect US dollar CAD to continue lower here. If we're gonna have a running flat here, it's gonna be something like this. Running flat and then continuation to the downside. So let's just have a look at this structure clearly. Do we have divergence? It looks like we've got some divergence here on the daily. There's very strong divergence. So if US dollar CAD is gonna make a move to the upside, let's just have a look. We're gonna have a look at the structure just now. The possible structure that it could have here, we have looking at this one as this is the end of the move here. We pull back in 3 waves, but this still looks like it's going pretty much sideways. Let me just see this, look at this structure on the 4-hour. So the 4-hour, we are above 50 on the RSI, but this is at the top. It looks like we are correcting here. We may get a move to around this level, but what structure will it be making? Let's have a look at it. Right. Would have expected this one to come down in 5 waves after making this what looks like a running flat here. Then we expect this one to make a move to the downside. So the expectation is for this to continue to the downside. Let's have a look at the website here, the sequence that we have on US dollar CAD. US dollar CAD 4-hour. So on the 4-hour, this is the structure here. We've come down with this through around this level, but we've made another pullback here, which changes the structure slightly because now this is not impulsive. So let's see if this is going to continue sideways, if this correction is going to make a double. This is going to make a double before coming to the downside. Let's just zoom out here. So there's a possibility that we can actually make a double here. So we've come around these levels, we've come down here. Want to have a fuller structure here. This is the wave 4 here. Just show you. So we're looking at this. This is the last end, the wave 3, as you've seen on that sequence. This was supposed to be the 4. So now this means that we could have this as our X and have another 3 waves here. It can be a zigzag or a flat. Could even be something like this. before we make a move to the downside. What will that mean? That will mean that our wave 4 is deeper like that. And the structure here internally will be a W, will be a X, will be a Y. So let's give it a bit of time so we can see what data we're going to get here. So there may be a very nice trade setup here for upside here on US dollar CAD, provided it confirms with the stock and the RSI. Right, on the 4 hour, you'll see that we've just popped up above 50. This is no confirmation for upside. We are at the top here. We've made a pullback. There's nothing that stops this from continuing to the downside and confirm the original structure. So just have a look at both. Right, that is US dollar CAD, Audi US dollar. Audi US dollar, just like the euro, after breaking out of this corrective structure, we expected a correction around current levels before it pushes up higher. When we were here, we could see there was confirmation for upside, but we still expected a deeper one because it was making 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like we are still in the making of that corrective structure here. Whichever form is going to play out, then this is going to be a move to the upside that we're going to look at on Audi US dollar. Same as New Zealand US dollar. Let's have a look. So New Zealand US dollar, we're still expecting same structure as yesterday. 1, 2, 3 down here. 3 up. And if this is going to be the 3 down here, we're going to expect something like this. So we may still push a little bit lower here before pushing up higher on the New Zealand. Let's see how that goes. US dollar ZAR has made an impulse to the upside, has started the reversal from around this level. Is that going to continue to the upside? So looks like we've also made 5 waves with this impulse as well. So that's why we're getting this deeper correction. Are we going to go and retest the 1560 here on US dollar ZAR and confirm that structure that we were looking at here? So let's see if we're going to get that on US dollar ZAR. But the indicator is showing us most likely downside, but that's not confirmation as yet because we're still slightly above 50. This can still push up 1 and correct. Why would we expect something like that? Let's just show here the structure. If you look at this leg, if you look at this leg on the 4 hour, it starts here. We made a move up here with this spike. We came back down here. We made a move up here, we corrected here, and we made a move up here. These are 4 waves, 5 waves rather. Then it is correcting with this. We can get a flat here, and this can continue to the upside. It's possible to have a structure like that. So let's see how this goes. If we get this corrective structure, US dollar ZAR will push to the upside. Pound yen, another continuation pattern. No sign of reversal yet on this one. Here's another setup similar to what we discussed on pound US dollar. There's another setup for upside. The close above this means we're going to see further upside on US dollar, on pound yen. US dollar yen. Are we going to now start seeing a correction after the 5 waves? Possible. We focus on these 5 waves on US dollar yen, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is it time for this to give us a corrective structure? So let's see if we get that corrective structure. If we get that, then we're going to resume up. Euro yen. So Euro yen has pushed up higher with these 3 waves here. 3 inside, 3 inside here. Are we going to start seeing a 3-wave pullback as well? So any confirmation of downside here, we may look to sell the euro. The 4 hour has dipped below 50 on the RSI as well, so that's supporting further downside. We are below 50 here, although we are at the bottom here. We need to see this one above here for us to take a trade to the downside. And if we channel this, let's put in the channel. This is the corrective structure that we're looking at. So for us to confirm that this upside has been completed, we need to see a corrective structure and a move to the downside, possibly back to around these levels. Chief. Also a impulsive move to the upside from 1850s to 1775. That's about 75 pips. So that's the move to the downside. If we're going to get a continuation pattern here, we're going to look to take it down. Okay, so we already broke out of this corrective structure. We made the 3 waves to the upside. And we're going to come back down here for a pullback. Let's see how that goes. Not really a trade setup there. CAD yen has got a potential trade setup for continuation to the upside. Again, this one looks like we've got 5 waves here in this leg, so a bit of a push to the upside. Let's have a look at this one. So it's showing us continuation to the upside on CAD yen. New Zealand yen, if we get the candle closing above here, we're going to continue to the upside. We've been pushing up higher from here. Okay, we're pushing up higher. We're getting another corrective structure. We have retested the 50 line here. We are at the bottom. So a candle close above this means we're going to see more upside. What we cannot guarantee is how fast this upside is going to be and how far this will be, because it's already made quite a significant move to the upside from right at the bottom. Audi yen, another setup for upside. The RSI is well above 50, so that is supporting more upside. This corrective structure here is showing us continuation to the upside. Showing us continuation to the upside. The break above here, we're going to see Audi continue higher. We are at the bottom here. RSI is well above 50, which is where we want it. So continuation to the upside. Gold. Are we going to pull back from current levels? Looks like gold has now reached that lower boundary of the bottom of the channel. Let's show that. This does not mean anything at all. Gold still looks pretty much bearish. This is a pullback. We're going to see gold continue lower. Remember, the structure that we looked at gold was for this running flat on Sunday, for this running flat to continue lower here. So we have continued, we've dropped from 1850 to the current levels at here. So can we get a bounce at this level? Let's see how this is going to play out, but gold is still pretty much bearish. Silver. Can we get this here on silver? But because gold is coming down, we don't expect silver to have another leg higher. So we expect this one to be the move here. So this would have been all the correction here in 3 waves. And we're still expecting silver to push lower. Right, on the 4-hour here, the stock is not really showing us a confirmation of a trade to the downside because it's at the bottom. The RSI, however, is below 50. Is this the corrective structure? Can we get a trade set up on the 1 hour? Let's have a look on the 1 hour. The 1 hour may potentially have a trade setup if this happens. This is our correction here. A close below this flag confirms a trade to the downside. We've already reset it here at the top on the 1 hour. This is a trade setup here. And we'll be looking to at least target this level on the 1 hour. That is silver, continuation to the downside. Brent crude pushing up higher, no changes. Another correction showing us further upside. Here's another flag showing us continuation to the upside. This is coming to reset again. When it resets and this one closes above the candle, that's another move to the upside. So Brent crude keeps pushing up higher. Pound pairs continue to push up higher. That is pound shift. So pound shift from Sunday, we saw it break out of this. We saw it break out here. That's the structure that most of the pairs were in on Sunday. It had already broken out of this on Sunday. This was the trade setup. So we're looking for continuation to the upside. Currently, it's making another one here. That's another confirmation for upside, further upside. Look where the RSI is, and this one is already resetted on the 1 hour. So continuation to the upside, no sign of reversal whatsoever. CAD trade setup on the 1 hour has just broken out of this structure. this is breaking out of this structure, this candle closing above the flag, you take the trade as soon as it closes above here. You just need to figure out how far that trade will go. Let's have a look on the 1 4 hour. So the pound pairs are resuming moves to the upside. So the target on pound CAD is around 77. It's not so far on pound CAD. So just be careful if you're taking that, because around 77 that may be kept. That is a structural level. It is not a support or resistant area. It is that structural level. Okay, so this is the level up here, up here. That's where we've been expecting pound CAD to push up to. Pound Audi. Okay, so you can see that all the other pound pairs are pushing up higher. Pound Audi has just been going sideways. Okay, we are looking for we had a trade set up here on pound Audi for it to drop, did not happen, and it now looks pretty much corrective. So here looks like we're going to have another leg higher as well to around these levels. I do not think that this is going to go from current levels. I think we still can come back down here for another leg to the downside before it pushes to the upside. So with the rest of the pound pairs pushing up higher, we may see pound Audi also pushing up to around that level, just going sideways. Pound New Zealand, same, but the trade setup on pound New Zealand is not so good, but we're expecting a continuation to the upside. As far as the indicator and structure is concerned, this is what we have here. Euro pound, definitely going to continue to the downside. We can see what's happening with the pound pairs. Very bearish, still continuation to the downside. No sign of reversal. All right. Euro Audi continues to the downside. From last week, Monday, we've been looking for this one to drop from these levels. Still continuation to the downside. Expected to continue lower. Euro New Zealand. The Euro New Zealand is not exactly giving us the drop that we're expecting. We're expecting it to do exactly as Audi New Zealand has done, but that does not mean that is not going to happen. We can still get this here. We can still get this one coming down here, but that's not a good trade setup to look at right now. EuroCAD has reached the target for the trade that we took here. Has reached a target for the trade that we took here and has now reached this level. Are we going to get a bounce from current levels? Remember, this was a modest target. We can still get EuroCAD pushing much lower. That just means the CAD is strong, or the oil is strong. That's why oil keeps pushing up higher. Euro Chief structure has changed. We were looking for this one to continue to the downside. I'm going to stay away from this one until I see what happens with this. Audi New Zealand pushing up higher. This was what we looked at yesterday. It had confirmed a continuation to the upside, but not a trade that I had taken. Audi CAD, one of the trade setups that we have, now starting to look good for further upside. Audi Chief, you can see that the Audi is resuming its strength. Monday we're here and it looks like we're going to continue to the upside. New Zealand CAD, are we going to break to the upside? The CAD is strong, so that's why this one keeps pushing lower. Are we going to eventually break to the upside? That's the expectation, because this one is coming down correctively, but we may test this level first before pushing up higher. So New Zealand CAD not clear at the moment. We'll watch and see if we're going to have a break there. New Zealand, we are at the top here, but we are above 50. So is this a corrective structure? We need to wait and see if we're going to get an impulse from current levels for downside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 correction. Can we see continuation to the downside? We'll be looking at that. CAD, nothing has changed. Remember, we're still looking for this to push up to the top of the boundary of the corrective structure. Expect continuation to the upside. CAD is strong anyway, so where CAD is the quoted pair, expected to push up higher. With the indices, same song, correction and continuation to the upside. We are set up for further upside. We are set up for further upside. Everything is setting up for continuation to the upside. This is the S&P 500, the Dow, all set for continuation to the upside. That's the flag, continuation to the upside. We are at the bottom. We are above 50, a clear setup for continuation pattern. NASDAQ, same, has made this nice expanding flat textbook. We're gonna see further upside. The RSI is slightly below 50. Let's see if it's gonna come back above 50 again. But we expect continuation to the upside. UK 100, starting to pull back again. As long as it remains above 50, this will be a move to another one leg to the upside. Otherwise, if we look at the 4 hour, we are going to look for this. This would have made its move to the downside in 5 waves, a 3-wave pullback. And then we get something like this. So let's see how that goes. DAX pushed up higher after this correction, made an impulse. We're seeing another one. It needs to stay above 50 for us to confirm further upside on the DAX. But we are below 50 here, so let's see how this is going to play out here. We'll wait for confirmation. Then the confirmation is that if this is going to continue higher, we need to have a candle closing above the top of the flag. Nikkei no change. RSI well above 50, and we're already resetting again. So Nikkei showing more strength than most of these indices for upside. Nifty also resetting again on the 4 hour. We're going to see some more upside. Upside here, the RSI is well above 50, so continuation to the upside. That is the Nifty. The cryptocurrencies, let's have a look here. Bitcoin. 1, 2. Let me draw it cleanly. We're looking for this 5th wave. So this was the 4th wave. We're looking at these two have been. Let me do it with a different color. Okay, same color. 1 and 2. 1, 2, 3. Is this at end of 3? Is this a running flat 4? We cannot even see that clearly. We could still very well be in only the wave 4 here. We could very well be only in the wave 4 of the red degree like this. So meaning that we've got another lower degree here of the nest. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. If this is the case, we are still going to have a pullback in 4 and then upside. And if that is the case, that means we're still going to have another pullback in yellow and then further upside. So Bitcoin still looking much higher. Okay, much higher. We've got some slight divergence which confirms that this is the 4 and the 5 on the green degree. Let me put it in here. Remember, the rule is that you must have divergence between 3 and 5, between 3 and 5. If this is the 5, we're already starting to see divergence between that 3 and a 5. Or is it? I think let's just make sure that we've drawn clearly. It looks like I didn't draw that clearly. Divergence must be right here. Okay, it is actually divergence because these must correlate. So we've got some divergence. We've got some divergence. That divergence could just be bringing the wave 4 in the red degree. One, 2. The 3 will sit right here at the top, but we're still pushing up higher. Essentially, we are still pushing up higher on Bitcoin and the rest of the cryptocurrencies. This will be the 5. That 5 will be the 3 in yellow. Excuse me, I'm out of space. 4, and then a 5. So we're still looking much higher on Bitcoin. Ethereum, we saw these setups yesterday, also continuation to the upside, still pushing up higher. Litecoin, this was the setup yesterday for it to push up higher from here. Here's another one, we're still pushing up higher. You can look to get those on the 1 hour if you trade short term. Ripple, we're looking at this 3-wave structure to break out. It had a better setup than the rest. May still break to the upside here, and this is a nice setup on Ripple. So let's keep an eye on that one. All right, that's all for tonight. Those that are attending the course, expect your videos shortly after this. So I'll be sending the videos on the email addresses that you have provided. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you later tonight, those that are attending the course. And for the rest of you, see you tomorrow. Cheers, everybody. Bye-bye.